Hey there! So, you're gearing up for the C11 exam, which means you've got to nail one of the most fundamental ideas in the entire industry, the core insurance model. Today, we're going to break down how insurance takes a potentially life-ruining risk and turns it into something totally predictable and manageable. Let's dive in.
You know, the best way to really get this is with a story. It's a classic scenario, and you've probably even seen it in your C11 textbook. It's perfect because it shows you the exact problem that insurance was designed to solve. It all starts with one person and one really big purchase.
Okay, so this is Amir. He's worked super hard, saved up his money, and just bought his very first car. And he is pumped. But let's think about this for a second. Almost all of his savings are now tied up in this one thing. It means he's also really, really vulnerable. Talk about putting all your eggs in one basket, huh? And this is where it gets kind of scary, right? One little accident, one break-in, or even worse, the car gets stolen, and poof, his entire $10,000 investment could be gone, just like that. When he's standing all alone, he's facing a huge risk. So what on earth can he do? Well, the answer isn't for Amir to just, stuff more cash under his mattress or cross his fingers and hope for the best. The real solution, the elegant solution, is found in the power of a group, the power of the pool. Let's see how we take one person's giant problem and turn it into a community's solution. So let's be super clear about what's at stake here. By himself, Amir is looking at a potential $10,000 hole in his finances. I mean, for most of us, that's a total catastrophe.
But now look at this number. Instead of worrying about a potential $10,000 hit, Amir pays a small, totally predictable amount, his premium. And this right here is the absolute magic of insurance. You're swapping a giant, unpredictable, scary loss for a small, predictable, affordable cost.
So how does this actually work? It's brilliant and simple. Picture this, hundreds or even thousands of people just like Amir, all facing a similar risk. They each chip in their small premium into one big shared fund. That fund grows and grows into this massive financial pool. Then, when something bad happens to just one person in the group, the money is right there in the pool, ready to pay for their loss. And that brings us right to the official C11 textbook definition. Insurance is really just the system for managing that pool. It's a method for collecting all those small payments, the premiums, to cover the huge unexpected losses that happen to just a few people. The key takeaway here is that the risk doesn't just disappear, it gets shared. So when that pool pays out, what's the actual goal? It's to do this, to indemnify. Now, this is a key word you absolutely have to know for your exam. Indemnify. It just means the goal isn't for you to make a profit from a loss. It's to put you back in the exact same financial spot you were in a second before it happened. It's all about making you whole again. Now, of course, this whole system doesn't just run on its own. There's a whole team of professionals who make it all work. And for your C11 exam, you definitely need to know who's who. So let's meet the key players. All right, first up, the people who actually sell you the insurance. This is a classic point of confusion, so listen close. What is the difference between an agent and a broker? It all comes down to who they work for. An agent works for the insurance company. A broker works for you. Think of a broker like your own personal shopper for insurance. They go out and search the entire market to find the very best policy for your needs. Okay, so let's say the worst happens. Amir actually gets into that accident. Who's he going to be dealing with now? He's going to be talking to a representative from the insurance company, and that person is called an adjuster. This is the person who's going to manage the whole claim process. And the adjuster's job is so important. They have to investigate exactly what happened, then they have to read the policy to make sure the loss is actually covered, and finally, they work to figure out a fair settlement amount, all based on that principle of indemnity. They're basically the insurer's boots on the ground when you have a claim. Okay, we've covered the model, we've met the players. You ready for a quick pop quiz? Let's put that knowledge to the test and see if you're feeling ready for those exam questions. Let's do this. Question number 1. What is the main reason, the primary purpose for pooling funds in insurance? Is it A, to pay broker salaries, B, to spread the financial risk across a big group, C, to invest in the stock market, or D, to pay for everyday bills? Go ahead and lock in your answer. And the answer is B. If you got that, you're on the right track. The whole idea, the entire foundation of insurance, is spreading that risk so no single person has to carry that huge burden alone.
All right, question 2. That super important principle of making someone whole again after a loss is called what? Is it A, premium, B, brokerage, C, indemnity, or D, adjustment?
And the correct answer is C, indemnity. Yep, you gotta know that one. Remember, insurance isn't about getting rich. It's about getting you back to where you started right before the loss.
Question 3. If you're looking for someone to represent you and to shop around the market to get you the best deal on coverage, who are you hiring? An A, adjuster, B, a direct writer, C, an agent, or D, a broker?
The answer is D, a broker. An agent represents the company, but a broker represents you, the client. That is a critical distinction you've got to remember for the exam.
Okay, last one. When a claim finally gets filed, who represents the insurance company to investigate it and settle it? Is it A, a public adjuster, B, the agent, C, the adjuster, or D, the broker?
And the correct answer is C, the adjuster. As soon as a loss happens, it's the adjuster who steps in for the insurance company and manages that whole process.
So that brings us to one last thing to think about. It's really easy to look at your insurance premium as just another bill you have to pay, right? But how does your perspective shift when you start thinking of it as your contribution to a community safety net, a pool of money that's there to protect not just you, but your neighbors and tons of other people? That simple idea is what makes this whole thing possible. Thanks so much for watching, and seriously, good luck on your exam.